But daddy is a state of mind, you know what I'm saying? I'm your daddy.
Let's go.
Get up on y'all. You gonna learn today.
Daddy, chill.
Call me Daddy.
All right, we're rolling.
There you go.
Talking about hand pays.
Yeah,
So what'd you win last night?
a lot. I'm almost back.
That's a win.
the dream, baby.
That's a win.
A lot more money than I had left the room with. So, you come back up to the room with a stack of cash that maybe you had a couple days ago when you first got into town.
You're gonna
That's
get
a win.
It's a good feeling. It's like
Any
a
comps?
reset.
Any comps?
Oh, yeah. And on top of that, you've basically leveled up to the top level over there now.
They don't like me over there.
They don't like
you,
George
you
at
went
all.
too much.
Yeah, they said I'm no good for their action.
They don't take you. They don't give you rooms no more.
They don't want. No, they won't give me anything.
So you think I should stay in the second to top tier and just
No, you're good. Like they seem to like you. Yeah.
Tell them what you tell them. What happened?
I went over there to get. So Joe Hollywood was in town.
Yeah.
I was gonna go get him a couple rooms at the Red Rock.
Shout out Joe Hollywood.
Shout out Joe Hollywood. And I went in there, and the guy's like, "No." I'm like, "What do you mean, no?" I'm like, "Buddy, I'm in here all the time. Like, I'm somebody's action you do want. You know what I mean?" And the guy's like, "No." He's like, "You are the action we don't want. You come in, you put your money in the machine. If it goes well, you take it and you run. And if it doesn't go well, you just go home." He goes, "We're good on you. We don't want anything to do with you. On top of it, you're up about 40,000 on us."
That must be why they like me, because the second they bring me the money, I put half of it back in. It's
Yeah.
Sheen's lucky again. Right?
I yell and scream at them. I laugh at them. Send the money out. I know I'm leaving with it. I'm not gonna.
This
gonna give
guy
up.
went. We were in the high roller slots, and we're the only ones in there, right? And the cocktail waitress comes. "You guys want any drinks?" "No, we don't need any drinks. No, we don't need any drinks." And he says, "I'm fucking just hitting it, hitting it." And 2 spins before, he goes, "I should really cash out. I should really I broke even for what I came here with. I should really cash out." "Nah, it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit." 2 spins, gets a hand pay.
It's
right?
that feeling sometimes.
that
it's
feeling.
weird,
I
It's
spin a wheel all day on Whatnot. I just want to spin a wheel.
That's it. It's it. It's like
know?
you actually want a result.
He started
all these
screaming.
results for your customer. You want a result for you for once
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the damn wheel. You're tired of seeing
saying.
this thing spin.
He starts screaming, "Yeah, yeah." He gets up and shoves me like 8 feet into the wall. "Yeah, Mike, yeah." And he's standing around. Nobody's in there. Nobody. "This is my motherfucking machine. I own this machine. I own this machine."
Pinball.
The pinball in
Yes.
high limit over there,
On
the
the-
one that the
the right
digital one
side.
that's on the other side of the top dollar.
Yes.
Interesting. All
Big,
right.
big.
All right. Okay.
I asked for a statue next to that machine at this point. Bro, it's the only machine I play.
I'll go ask him about it. I'll ask him tonight. Say, "Hey, my buddy says
Yeah, they don't,
Yeah,
they don't like
it's
might
the
know.
one closest to the bar on the back end, right?
Yeah.
I might lose my comps. Actually, I probably should.
I think that machine.
Keep it to
I think there's
myself.
something off with that machine.
Yeah.
I'm not that lucky.
I said that about my machine. Something ain't right.
We were at the George one night having dinner. It's me, him, his brother, and Chad Seabliss. We're all sitting there, and he lost on a bet. He was firing away on his fucking phone, right? Just lost.
The number 1 pick, Zach Rosh.
He just,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Yeah. He bet on his, total points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah, big combo guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't hit, right? He
Oh,
still
you
needs
take the-
like
you take
9
the
in the fourth
combos.
quarter. So he just gets up and just doesn't say anything, just walks away, right? So we're all sitting there. Food comes. His food comes. We all eat. We're all done with our food. He's got 3 plates of food sitting here. I'm like, where the fuck did this guy go? Where did he go? And he just texts us, "Hand pay. I'm on my way back." He comes back. He's like, "I'm back, baby. I'm back."
My gosh. And now you can eat.
Now I can eat.
Now
Yeah.
you can eat. The
Now-
stomach-
now
the
we're
stomach-
sitting there.
Now my stomach's growling a little bit. I got an
There was no
appetite.
appetite
Yeah,
15
exactly.
minutes
No.
prior.
See, me and him have always been very alike. This is very fun.
Yeah,
we have always known
that
that we're
toxic-
very
that
alike
toxic
in
mentality.
Yes, yeah.
Compile it on, compound it on.
That's
Do
right.
what's needed.
That's
know?
right, 100%.
So, all right, let's enough with the gambling. What's
Yeah,
what's going on? What's going on in the pizza pools, fucking John world?
A lot. You've been doing this for a long time, and you get to a point where you're like, do I finally grow this team, or is it just am I just going to be streaming for the rest of my life? Behind the sticks and also ordering product. You know how it is. You're having to do every single piece.
Yeah, you wear like 15 hats.
15 hats, and we've got the tech side, which I'm sure we'll talk about. And after all this time, we finally found a couple guys that we can really trust. We're out of Alabama, so it's hard enough finding people that want to work down there.
Roll
And-
Tide.
Roll Tide, yeah. Everyone's too busy watching football and
Their Tide got rolled over.
hanging out with their cousins.
This
apparently,
last
is what
weekend,
you
by the
guys-
way.
Yeah, listen, we don't need, I'm here.
Yeah,
We're here for
moved on.
basketball.
It's
We're here for
basketball
basketball season, bro. All right, it's basketball season. But you hire people and you finally start to build kind of a breaking identity that's not built around one person's face like me. It's been my face on the camera forever. I think that's why you see so much success with y'all's stream is you think about your company. There's 20 streamers pop up in your head. You know what I mean? But everyone just thinks about me with pizza pools. And anytime we've put a breaker on in the past, it's been really hard to kind of grind them up and get that that viewership. But now we've got some guys that have really kind of they've got over that hurdle now, and we're really starting to fill some breaks with other people. And so the pizza pool side, I'm able to kind of step back a little bit finally and see it from 30,000 feet, not have to.
Are
deal
you
with
streaming
breaking.
anymore?
I stream every now and then, big releases. I did a Gilded case break. I'd never ripped Gilded. I really wanted to see what that was like, and the world knows now. The post is out. Go ahead. Yes, you can tell the people.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Paul Skeens?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
That's a great
That was
car.
so great. He FaceTimed me.
FaceTime.
I'm
Yeah,
sitting in bed with Kelsey.
But John, let me ask you, how the fuck do you get into sports cards in Alabama?
Yeah, well, kind of a bit of a. Well, I guess I have kind of a special story there. I mean, I played football at Alabama 2013, 14, 15. My senior year of high school, I got a call from university, and I was already going to go play at another university in the state on scholarship. And, I was a punter, and they called me. A backup punter at the University of Alabama actually broke his back somehow. It's a guy that I knew. I know. He's fine now, but
I broke my back.
broke his back punting.
Spinal.
Yeah, spinal.
Spinal.
I love that. And we were training together all through when I was in high school. He was actually one of the guys that would come back to town and train all the local kickers and punters. And I just kept winning the camps. And I guess they asked him who's next man up, and he put my
Suggested
name up.
you.
And within an hour, I had a phone call from the special teams coordinator at University of Alabama. You know me, I'm the
Yeah.
biggest Alabama fan ever. So
You're there.
I'm like a month away from graduating high school. I'm about to go play at some school in the set, Mobile, and it's cool, but that was like, it was crazy.
You were
And so
rock hard.
I'm yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm coming in
yeah.
with guys like the recruiting class that I came in with. It's like Derrick Henry, Marlon Humphrey, like
Oh my God.
Maury Cooper's already on the team. Jonathan Allen's there. Like
What sucks
A'Shawn
for you
Robinson.
is that you didn't live in the NIL era.
right. Well,
Because then
Yeah.
you would have really seen some real shit with
Yeah.
money, Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure there was under the table stuff that takes place. Never that. But
Never.
nowadays, you would have been in a locker room with 20 guys that were millionaires
yeah, absolutely.
at 18 years old.
Absolutely. Which, they had cool stuff with cars and stuff back then. They had one of the loopholes was they would get a local dealership, the university, 'cause
Sponsor.
to sponsor it or get you maybe $1 a month payment on
Right.
like a really nice car, right? And they kit it out for you, whatever, and then they just kind of hand it down to the next player, whatever.
How was it? How long did you play?
I was there so I graduated in Alabama. I graduated University of Alabama in 2018. So I was actually at school there for 5 years. I only played for the first 2.5. I walked on, tore my hamstring immediately.
Not good for a kicker.
Not good for a punter at all. Yeah, especially because you're
Kicking
swinging
leg?
your leg. Yeah, you're swinging your leg up over. It's pretty ugly. I actually was our A-Day game. I was basically going down to stretch, and I slipped into the splits. Essentially, I'm not that flexible, and it was ugly and damaged my leg pretty bad. Sat out for a really long time, and then during that period, they brought in a guy named J.K. Scott, who happens to be now the punter for the Chargers. I don't know if you saw him the other night. He's a beast. He's 6'7". Guy's left leg never leaves the ground when he punts. I say this all the time. Shout out J.K. Hear him. His leg doesn't leave the ground when he punts. I swing so hard. Most punters swing so hard that you're coming a foot off the ground when you punt. This guy is so flexible and he's just nuking it, staying put. But regardless, I mean, to get to your original question, through that, I started seeing cards popping up of these guys that I played football with and know very well from locker room interactions and just being on the team and traveling and going to Sugar Bowls and championships, and he guys like Derrick Henry and Marlon, and I mean, I'm trying to think who else. I mean, people don't even know this. Alvin Kamara was on that team. Alvin Kamara obviously played at Tennessee, but his freshman year he was recruited and played at Alabama. And
What was he, the third string?
maybe fourth or fifth. I mean,
Yeah.
that was the most.
Is that
We had
wild?
TJ Yeldon and Derrick Henry.
That's what it's a factory, man.
Yeah.
That's how it goes, And it's again, to get you said about us getting steamrolled. It's like message to Alabama fans right now is like, chill out. We lost 3 games this year. That's look across the state.
Nick
Auburn,
Saban's not there anymore. You need to
No.
adjust.
yeah. Hey, Auburn, our arch rival, might not make a bowl game. Things are okay. We're looking great over here.
That means a lot down there.
They're like 4
Auburn.
and Auburn's
Yeah.
4-6 or something. Like you know,
Auburn's biggest game of the year is this week, John.
and it's exactly. I've got to rush home for it on Thursday because we got some ass to whoop. But seriously, like and you don't want to be the team that plays us after we get beat,
No.
beat
No.
by 30.
It's like playing the
Norman.
Patriots when Tom Brady got smoked the game before. You don't want to play him.
No, you're
You
good.
don't want to play him.
Yeah. I mean that's from that I started collecting a little bit. And I just kind of would buy cards here and there from guys that I played with, in college, and then I was scrolling through, I guess one TikTok or Facebook or something. This is like 2020, 2 years after I've graduated, and right in COVID, 2019 probably, like right before it, and Backyard Breaks comes up. I'd never heard of them. And they were running this mystery pack thing, and it was like the bids were going crazy, like $500-600, and it was like, come see us on Whatnot. And they were showing their Whatnot stream on TikTok or whatever. I think they had like just a camera on the screen or whatever. And I went. You guys might remember this. This is the show that they hit that LaMelo logo man on Flawless when it was the big hype. You remember
Collegiate.
early,
Yeah.
the collegiate one. It was that show. I bought in the spot before that. It was the spot before. It was like they hit that with like 8 packs left in the show. With 9 packs left in the show, I bought a spot. I had a Super Break Ultimate Super Duper box, whatever it was called. It's called like a Wander Franco Auto PSA 10 and a Mahomes Silver The Rookies insert for like $500 or $600. And I didn't know what I was doing. Like I ran and downloaded the app when they said you can get in. And I'm a big gambler, and I love sports cards. I could not download Whatnot fast enough, and I bought in and hit that, and they were freaking out. And I'm sure, back then I probably did make money. I'm sure those cards are worth about $100 now, but
The Wander Franco's probably nothing.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
I just know I took that to Tampa Collecticon and traded it for some. So I didn't know what I was doing back then.
I sold a gold wave at that Tampa Collecticon.
Yeah.
For like $38,000.
Yeah, it was crazy.
The wave. Not even the true.
It was
Yeah.
crazy back then, and the prices were so nuts. Just because there was such an influx of people like me who just like
They had no idea what they were doing.
I knew what sports
Right.
cards were.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have to explain to me what a sports card was. You
Yeah.
didn't have to explain to me why this was rare.
But value wise, entry level stuff
Yeah.
where you're getting in, you don't really know what the fuck you're doing. You
I didn't
see
know the
all these
difference
other
between
people.
a gold prism and a base rated rookie. I just knew, hey, this is a rookie card of this guy. Then you start to see these prices coming up.
Yeah. So I was
You're
saying,
like-
you start seeing other people bid. Oh, this must be good.
Yeah.
I mean, you got all these other people in the live bidding money, $500. I'm
There's
throwing my hat in the ring.
Yeah, there's 3,200 people in this live stream right now. I can't even read the chat because it's scrolling so fast. Like this is exciting.
Oh, yeah.
And wait a minute, I like sports and sports cards and gambling.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Like this is a great combo, and I think that kind of like and I know they hate when we use the word gambling.
But it is.
It is.
It is.
Like if you're not gonna sit and say that, I think
Bro, sports card breaking is gambling. The other 18 hours a day, we don't have sports to gamble.
yeah, literally,
That's
that
all it
is the
is.
entertainment of. I don't.
Correct.
I'd rather do this than go watch a recap of what happened today on.
I also say too, they have odds on boxes. What do you
Yeah.
think the fuck that is?
Yeah.
They literally have odds.
If they
and
tell you
pack odds.
one and how
Yeah.
many packs to hit this card,
That-
it's gambling.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's on the back of
You
the boxes.
Scroll around and you see
Panini
progressive
tops.
jackpots ticking upwards for certain heads. You see the
you have bounties now.
bounties.
You don't think that's
and-
gambling? You got
and
guys
these
coming
bounties
out.
are directly tied to the odds on the box.
Yes.
Like these guys, it's. I think it's dishonest. As bad as this might seem from these top level
that's-
companies might hate hearing me say this, but it's dishonest to
In
to-
Whatnot's bylaws, it says we do not condone any types of gambling.
That's
I'll say it straight up. You guys are out of your fucking mind putting that in your bylaw.
It
The
is
whole
insane.
app is gambling. It is
Yeah.
what it is.
yeah.
Spinning a wheel, having the cards.
But so is
flipping
Fanatics.
cards.
So is YouTube. So is if you go into an Instagram room and buy it's gambling.
This world is leaning to, I mean, the online gambling is becoming so huge. I just watched a video this morning when I was, getting ready to come over here about it, the online gambling epidemic and how big it's become just from Twitch streamers and YouTube streamers that are doing this.
Bro, every hotel in this city, you get a new alert every week.
Yeah.
They're now online. Now online.
And what do you think? What do you think the odds of people that are in sports cards that are degenerate gamblers?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, I'll answer this
And
question.
why do you think Fanatics started their own gambling fucking app?
Fanatics has a gambling license for the longest.
The
for a
reason they
saw
did that,
this.
the reason they did that, because 98% of the people in the hobby
Their
are
demographic-
degenerate gamblers online.
And that's not to say that I think people get confused when you talk about this. The hobby is not gambling. Our form of what we're doing in the hobby is, I mean, you could you can take your kid to a card show and collect grab a card that he likes because it's his favorite player and you grab it for him. There's no gamble there. If you're not in that to trade, you're not trying to flip it and make money. There's still a great side of this hobby that's not gambling. But I think when we start talking about the impact that these apps are having and that the live stream, like live commerce side of it is having, 95 to 99% of it is absolutely
yeah.
in the lines of gambling, coloring inside the lines there. I mean, there's no way you could chop that any other way.
There's no way of
No.
chopping it because it's no different than buying 4 spots in a break, calling it a parlay.
Yeah.
Buying a team in a break strong and thinking that's like a lot.
Minus 200.
It's all the same shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can create ways like I don't know that many shops, but I know people who know how to make money ripping cards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There are people out there.
Oh, we see them every day.
There are professional gamblers out there. You know what I mean? Like there are the sharks and the shops of our industry.
Did you see an opportunity when you saw like the backyard breaks and did you see the opportunity on the tech side?
Yes.
Is that where the window opened?
Absolutely. And I mean, I guess if just to give a little background there, I mean, we talked about how long I played at Alabama. Part of the reason that I gave it up so early is during that time, University of Alabama, and we'll have to, I'm sure, fact check this later. They were in the top 3 or top 4 schools for the MIS, this new school called MIS, Management Information Systems. It's basically CS degree, but within the business school. So you still got to take economics and marketing and accounting and all that. You've still got to learn the business side. And every class within MIS, yes, you're learning how to code, but you're learning how to make ERP systems for companies and how to manage employees and how to give a company you're not learning how to make a video game or learning how to, like CS guys, I'm not digging CS. I think CS is incredible too. CS is more of a focus on just general coding, right? Making code, building apps, whatever. Whereas this is more business aspect. And so, yeah, I had, when I tore my hamstring the first time, I had an older cousin who was 2 years older than me, was at the university and getting ready to graduate from this program. He hadn't even graduated yet, and he had more job offers he had envelopes in it looked like
Recruiting letters.
It looked like recruiting letters. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was going to say. It looked like a guy that was getting recruited out of high school to go play at Alabama. And it's like PwC and all huge, Ernst & Young and like all these giant accounting firms and all these huge, and I'm like, okay.
You see that and you're
Yeah.
like,
I see that, but I'm not just going, I want to do this to make money. I'm like, I'd already started, I was cracking people's iPhone screens off in high school and ordering, Chinese replacement iPhone screens. And I was the iPhone replacement guy.
You've been a tech
I'm
guy
just
your
that,
whole way.
That's just what I've done. And, and so it just made sense that I knew I wanted to be in this program. The University of Alabama Business School, they put a ton of money into it. And they jetted out right when this was becoming a thing I think the first 2 years they were number 1. When I was there, they started dipping down. They were like number 3, number 4 in the country for this. And there was 45 students in the program. That's it. There's 36,000 students in
Opportunities.
Alabama.
Yeah, opportunities were endless there.
Nick Saban came to me my after my second season, I'd had some trouble with my hamstring. Gotten in maybe some other trouble there, from that. Just, you sit out an entire
You got
season.
free time, man.
Free time. You
Yeah.
goof off a little bit, nothing crazy, but, he just kind of knew that maybe my heart wasn't in it anymore in football. But he came to me and he said, "Are you still interested in MIS?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "This is after I'd re-injured myself again." And I think at that point he realized we're going to keep this guy on a roster for another year, and he's just dead weight, can't do anything, can't even work out. Or can we make a call and get this guy in this program that he really wants to do, which he did. So Saban made a call to the MIS program. This is after the period in college, you have times, it's almost like the transfer portal window. You have times where you're allowed to switch your major, between registration.
Yeah.
Registration's already passed. I'm stuck in this like underwater basket weaving major that they gave us, because you're a football player, hand us your homework and we'll do
Finger
it.
painting.
Yeah.
Ballet.
And he came to me and it wasn't just him, it was one of my coaches that I guess I'd been more personal with on the personal level where he knew.
But still, Saban's there.
Saban's
That's so
there.
crazy.
It's epic.
That's awesome.
The opportunity came about and basically it happened and ended up graduating like top 3.
We got to pause real quick and ask you, what is Nick Saban like?
That's
like
what I was
he's like a
gonna
father
ask.
figure. I mean, I'll say I have a great father. So it's weird to say. I mean, no disrespect, obviously, to my
Of
father
course.
to say that, but he is. The media. This is the question I get the most is what is it like being around Saban?
Well, yeah,
And I think you guys are seeing the real Saban now on TV.
Yeah.
He seems like a happy-go-lucky guy outside of the locker room,
Yeah.
around the town. I know his wife is a legend of the whole
Miss
town,
Terry.
Miss Terry, right? And my cousin went there, so I hear the stories, but to hear it from a football guy,
Yeah.
they say he's a sweetheart, but when you go in the locker room, it's all business, man.
Well, it's all business, but I mean, I'll put it like this. I mean, the off season is completely different. I mean, the off season you're getting up at 5:30 in the morning. You're doing, which I have some stories about this. You're getting up at 5:30 in the morning and you're heading down to the locker room, get dressed, and you weigh in, drink your protein shake, whatever. And then they got protein shakes that have your name on it in your locker. They're cold. It's like they knew when you were parking or something. It's weird, and everything. And you get dressed. You go outside, and it's you're running 16 110s today. So that's you start in the end zone, you run through. You start in the back of one end zone, you run through the goal line. It's 110 yards. You got like, I forget maybe 11 seconds to do it or whatever.
Oh my God.
And it's your entire skill group. So for us, it's quarterbacks, tight ends, punters, and kickers. And if
It's a bad group to get grouped in with, John.
someone
Yeah.
doesn't make it, it doesn't count. And you
Everybody's
got to
gonna
get
start.
16 reps. And I'm talking about like 10, everyone's throwing up. Like everybody's throwing up. Like Derrick Henry, everybody is yakking everywhere by like the 12th one, right? And so like this is like you're getting up 5, 6 a.m., right? Saban is cool during those. I mean, obviously he's yelling and he's hyping you up and he's screaming and sometimes you got to go into Bryant-Denny Stadium and run stadiums on.
I could think of worse things to have to do as an athlete, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
What's he like on a game day, like a big game day?
but then
What's
the
atmosphere
season
like
kicks
inside
in.
the locker room?
Yeah, the season kicks in, and yeah, he's.
Full psycho.
I mean, don't talk to him.
That's good though. That's
What would you have to say to him that
nothing.
means anything
Yeah.
right now? It's basically how he walks around. I mean, literally, if you're not the starting quarterback, what do you have to say to me right now? I feel like that's kind of how it is, but that's how it should be. Like, think about the preparation and what's going on for him, and It's funny. I have a good one. He told me we had dealing in Alabama. Those hurricanes that come off the Gulf. We always kind of get the outer, edges of them, and it comes with really heavy winds. And we would always, whenever that would happen, practice would go to the indoor facility, and we would know ahead of time. So we would go outside to get our reps,
kick in the wind?
and we would just kind of sit around. We would literally like sit during practice and watch practice. Like it was unbelievable. But we would go out and kick into the wind. And I forget what hurricane it was. Huge hurricane came through. And this one actually came up into Alabama. And the wind was crazy. And we decided to go out. And I'm talking about balls are flying almost backwards. They're
Yeah.
coming back. They're they're catching wind and just going straight up, 10, 15-yard punch. You cannot get a ball. You're almost having to punch it straight through. And Saban, we don't realize this. Saban's standing on his balcony watching us this whole fucking time. We're fucking off. We're like, dude, it was bad. Because there's nothing to do but fuck around when you're seeing these
what are you gonna
balls
do?
are going
50-mile-per-hour winds or
just
something.
like they're going up towards like the lights, and he comes down. We see his door shut. You know, someone points him out. He comes.
You know he's coming.
So the
now.
balcony overlooked the field.
Yes,
Okay.
his office balcony overlooks the practice fields. Yeah, and and so
awesome.
you want to go out there and have a little fun. He's probably in his office, facing this way. You're behind him.
watching.
Don't be out there having too good of a time. Don't be screaming or yelling like you know you have that like childish, you know, when you're out there playing football with the guys, whatever. He don't catch his attention. You know what I mean? Because if he watches you and you're not doing what you're doing at the highest level, you're gonna hear about it. Like this is
you balked that.
in this specific day. This is what happened. So
What happened?
he walks downstairs, he calls us over. He goes, guys, I've been watching you for the last 20 minutes. I genuinely think that my dick could punt the ball better than all three of you. And my shit hasn't worked for years. And then he turned around and walked away.
Like ice cold.
Just
Yeah.
like, save me.
What's the what's the
It's
atmosphere
serious.
around the school? Like, as of being a football player at Alabama, it's the biggest fucking school in the nation. Like, what's the atmosphere, even as a punter?
It was good. I mean, it was crazy. I'll have to show you guys after. I've got pictures of my phone of. I mean, you would get invited to a party at Sigma. You know, I was not a fraternity guy, but one of these fraternities, and like you go over there with like Eddie Lacy while he's in the NFL because he's
Cheeseburger Eddie, dude.
because he's back in town,
Right.
and he's hanging out with Derek and Mark Ingram, and like they're like, we're going to see Waka Flocka. He's performing at this at
At a fraternity. Yeah.
and so you're like riding with them in this giant like
You're the
limousine
token white guy.
or a big car, or no, you're like with the punters because the punters are the cool kids on the like they loved us, which is why I got in trouble all the time.
Right.
and you know you walk into this party and you're thinking you're just gonna be hanging out like watching Waka Flocka, and you end up on the stage, and you're like, you got pictures of like Waka Flocka with his arm around you, like.
This is what it's like to
It was-
play football in the SEC.
It was
right?
crazy.
Like a celebrity.
No, you are a
Yeah.
celebrity.
But I'm backup punter. People don't know my name. They see
Don't
that
matter.
I'm walking around with this
Yes.
guy, and they know that I'm with, you know.
It's just an entourage.
Yeah,
And they don't
it's-
care
it's
who's in the
wild.
entourage.
They're
They
like,
just-
he's either the manager, the future agent, or the kicker.
Yeah,
looks like
and
the analytics guy.
and it's like, you know, and thankfully I was a punter. I didn't have to worry about any points. You know, you don't have to
Right.
worry about scoring points. You just got to kick the ball away. And also, we don't punt a lot at Alabama. So
Right.
during that
Yeah.
time, so it's
Half,
like
your,
a
half your
great.
games a year, you don't punt.
Yeah,
Who's the-
exactly.
Who was the quarterback at that time
AJ
frame?
McCarron, my freshman year, it was his senior season. That was also the last season of the BCS, which is
Yes,
pretty
when they,
cool.
when they
Yeah.
elected the national championship and shit like that.
And we were going to the national championship, and we lost to Auburn. We were undefeated, and we lost to Auburn on a return field goal
Oh man,
to kick six.
You were on
that
the
was
kick
my
six.
freshman. Yes, that was my freshman year. I don't remember the locker room. I don't remember the speech. People asked me, "What was it like? What happened in the weeks after that game?"
you guys just delete it and you move
It's
on.
gone. I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you. That was probably traumatizing. I don't know, but I just know we were headed for a natty. You don't have to go play in a playoff when the BCS says you're the champion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like you go and you're going to play someone else who you're probably going to, you know, steamroll. And then my sophomore year, we go to playoffs, and it's the first year of the playoffs, and I think we lose to Ezekiel Elliott in Ohio State.
Ohio State. I remember
Yeah.
that. Cardell Jones was the quarterback.
And then my next year, we finally got it. That third season. And that was it. But yeah, like
Who was the
it
quarterback
insane.
after McCarron?
So my second year, yeah, it was like Jake. It was we had Blake Sims
Right.
and then Jake Coker.
Yes, it was like that bridge year.
Weird.
Yes.
Two guys that came in that honestly, Blake Sims, I love Blake. Blake's my favorite quarterback that I've ever played for. Really, I mean, he won the locker room. He was one of those guys. AJ's awesome. I think AJ's actually doing a lot of podcasts now and a lot of cool stuff. And
Do you communicate with anybody from those teams
bunch
still?
of guys. Yeah, just I mean, I got some friends that are like good buddy of mine, Jaron Reed. I mean, you have a couple guys that not to reach out to because they're in mid-season NFL, and it's like, they really want to hear from the punter from that, the Bama team from 10 years ago. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe that was 10 years ago.
Time flies.
That was 11 years ago. Wow.
With all this that
yeah.
goes on, how do you? Because again, Mike and I know you a pretty long time at this point. How do you find a way to top all that into what we're doing now?
Yeah, I think once we kind of saw that you asked about the technology, and that'll kind of, I think, roll into that. Once I saw, and I really didn't see the technology at first, so I'll get into that. I mean, I went straight out of college. I went and worked at Georgia Tech. I was working on the B-1 bomber, doing
That's so crazy. That's so
doing
awesome.
software for the Department of Defense, like really, really cool stuff. And
I didn't even graduate high school. This is like high level,
but like
high level stuff.
That's the crazy thing about this hobby, though, is none of that matters.
No.
We're all at the same table. We're all doing, that's it. Like, so many people from different areas. I mean, my guy G, you guys know G. Shout out to G in the other room here.
Yeah, lick my balls.
Yeah.
No, that G.
Oh, that G.
His
I thought
guy,
you were talking
yeah.
about G sports cars.
Shout out to him too. Shout out to him too. Love him. I've got a job that I've got to be doing for him in a couple of weeks, but I'll be flying out there to see him. But my guy G, I mean, same deal. He's out of Chicago. He was getting ready to go work, I think, a union job or work, somewhere. And I'd met him online doing video games or something and asked him if he wanted to come do. I mean, you'd never know the amount of opportunity this hobby brings,
and where you can start from.
Start
like
from.
your boy, Melfi. That guy was a union worker.
Yeah.
And now he's working for Bluzz.
Yeah.
It's like a
that.
union worker. He's like, I love sports cards. I love
Yeah.
sports. I know all the players. Like, just get me in. Get my foot in the door.
I think I didn't see the technology at first because there was no technology at first. Like if you went on Whatnot, the only way to stream on
Zero.
Whatnot was to hit go live on your phone.
Add things in on the fucking
Nobody
phone.
showed their face.
No one showed their face. You
No
got
one
Blez.
did. No one did interactions to where you knew who the fuck you were buying from.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, you just saw their hands.
It's the back of someone's hands.
And
literally.
I say it now, if I don't see your face, I don't trust you. No
Well, not
offense,
just
George. I know
that.
you can't show your face on Whatnot.
Which that's got to change. I think
That
at this
should
point.
change.
But this right here, this right here,
I don't give a fuck, man. Fuck what?
I saw this.
I'm only driving $20 million a year into that company. Fuck them. Keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, so there you go. I'll just, I saw, I can't, I saw, I didn't see the technology at first because they're really, I think for me, I had really no experience with streaming, nothing like that. For me, I started adding up. I tuned in to Backyard every time they went live, and I started buying in breaks. I actually shout out. I know we're doing. It's like shout out day over here. Shout out to Cracked Breaks, Ryan at Cracked Breaks.
Mm-hmm.
First guy that I wailed in his room. Like that's when I bought from Backyard that one time. Started buying from Jordy, Jordy Washington. Remember him over there, and but then I really started wailing with my guy Ryan at Cracked Breaks, and I hit like a gold LeBron Kobe tribute. Like I smell, and you know what that was worth back then.
6-figure card.
So like we were smacking back then, and so I was having so much fun. But then I started I was Googling these boxes, and I'm like, some of these breaks, these guys have pretty good margins on, and they should. Obviously, the work that goes in. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm like,
And back then
the
especially.
margins were
well, back
crazy.
then it's easy. Back then, I'm talking about Panini Black, Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, hobby box, 6-7 cards, right? 2 autos or an auto and an RPA, right?
Takes 2 seconds to open it.
7-spot hit draft. They are filling out the second you post them, and I'm like, wait a minute, this box costs $500 if I want it, and he's pulling in $750 on this. It's like I just watched him do this 20 times. You know what I mean? I started seeing like some of these bigger channels doing these great, great breaks and filling, and there was such a demand. And at that time, the reason the margins were so big is because the customers were then hitting a Trey Lance RPA and selling it for $5,000. You know what I mean?
money
It's
was there.
The money
unbelievable.
was there. Yeah.
And
And everyone was bored. Everyone was stuck
and I
at their
think
house.
the margins now still are. I think the margins have changed now, but obviously, I think they're still relative to where the market is. Like, I think it's still
They've gotten a lot tighter.
it's tighter, but I think the market got tighter. I mean,
Yeah.
that's that. You know,
I think it also became tough where these guys don't sign all for one company anymore. So
Yep.
you've split the field.
Yep.
And the better half of the field is with Fanatics, who doesn't produce licensed stuff.
Not
Then-
yet.
And then the worst part of the field is with Panini, and nobody really wants their
right,
autos.
especially this year. Yeah,
Yeah, they got two guys in McCarthy and Penix.
and Asar and Amon.
Right.
They did the same thing. They
Nobody-
focus so they put them on every box, on the front of every box.
they
Where's
have
Brandon
to.
Miller? Where's Wimby? Where's
Not allowed
where's
to.
Jaime? I know exactly. So
Yeah.
it's
Scoot.
it is different. But I think I kind of came into it from that. I said I want to start breaking. I started the company with two guys that I was doing engineering with, and I just saving because my last name basically has the word pizza in it. Saving all the way back to high school. Everyone used to
I was just
call
going to
me
ask you, where
Pizza.
did pizza pulls come from?
Yeah, everyone has called me pizza. Everyone always asks me, what's your favorite pizza? Do you like pineapple on pizza? Like, we don't get political, we don't answer that question. It splits our room in half,
Yeah.
But we did learn, like, we didn't learn anything. We named pizza pools because that it just made sense. We didn't really think it was going to blow up. It was just something to do. while
Catchy
we were
as shit,
working.
too.
Catchy
I
is
appreciate it. Thank
I
you.
remember
short,
when you
quick, and catchy.
I remember when you were new to the app, you can't not see your page name because of the name. You know?
Right.
I'm a New Yorker, and you see pizza. What's this fucking?
And everyone thinks
Yeah.
we're in
Who's
New
this
York.
fucking guy? Yeah,
Everyone
exactly.
thinks we must be big New York company, whatever, and they find out we're in Alabama. They're like,
Bama.
they don't even have pizza in Alabama, do they? Which they do, obviously. But
That's ironic because your college nickname was Pizza. That's how my name came about, Daddy Ribs. My wife actually came up with it. So in college, I don't even know how it came about.
where's this going?
I don't know.
I don't even know how it came about. But on college baseball, on the team, for whatever reason, they called me. They were calling me Daddy. Like, it was just really weird. And so I had an Instagram handle as like Daddy Beast, whatever. And so when I split from Rizzo, I used to work for Rizzo Sports Cars back in the day. I split from Rizzo. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to call myself. I need something short, catchy. And my wife's like, you're Daddy. You're Daddy Ribs. And it was just
That's what you want to hear
boom.
from your wife.
Yeah.
She's the boss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is the boss.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's just crazy how, like, there's just the little subtle things that happen in your life.
Yes.
Years ago, I was in college before you,
Planting seeds.
planting
Yeah.
seeds, and then that comes to fruition.
I think naming your company in this business is a very important thing.
I was about to say that
And it's
exact
hard.
same thing.
It's not easy to come up with a good name.
I
It's
scroll
not.
the app and I can't believe some of these names. I'm like, you had one shot,
Bro.
Don't we don't have to
listen.
If I see one more Florida company make their name South Florida
or
Breaks,
something with FL in it.
FL
no,
Breaks.
no.
Yes.
I
I
like the
think
way you guys
word,
came
the
up with
worst
that.
is putting your area code in front.
Okay, I actually just advised the guy on this, a local guy, Huntsville Hitters. I'm talking to you. They wanted to be 205 hits or whatever. I said, guys,
Nobody cares about
No
this,
one
you know?
cares.
no one knows what 205 is.
Right.
No one cares what 205 is, and if you want them to remember who they bought from a week from now, they're gonna have to remember what city you're from and what the area code is.
Bro, I'm from New
it's
York,
not gonna happen.
and I don't think people know that 718's the area
Yeah.
code and the biggest,
I didn't know that.
Right, exactly. So nobody cares.
So he goes, all right, Huntsville. I said, name your company Huntsville Hitters. They're taking off. They're blowing up. Shout out Huntsville Hitters. You know what
Shout
I mean?
out
They've been-
Huntsville, yeah.
They've been in the
Huntsville
building for a
Hitters. That's
couple.
a lot better than
couple
205.
couple months.
Are
now.
they
They've
Roll
been in it.
Tide or they
They're
Roll-
Roll Tide.
All right.
We actually graduated MIS together
Very cool.
at Alabama, which is pretty cool. My guy Daniel, so pretty cool.
That's
But I mean,
Naming your company is crucial.
it is. It's so important.
And then
Some
you
of
had a
these names.
whole brand that's built around it because look, now you got pizza to use as your. You got the pizza cutter on the fucking screen. It's
We went and got
I
a
use like
Domino's.
the Daddy Chill in my videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it all kind of you have to encompass everything
you have to
behind
have
that
a
name.
brand name that has brand material that you could brand it out on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just not that hard.
And we went and got a Domino's corporate account. We have unlimited $10 gift cards. We just randomly during the stream, we'll just press a button. It'll pop up this Domino's thing that spins around. Congratulations. It's got our logo on it.
Yeah, I want to talk
$10
about this
gift card.
This is
It's got your gift card, right? And then we DM them the code. And so while you're watching our stream, you can literally order a pizza. And it's like, imagine you buy into a break, a PYT, might not fill for an hour, 2 hours.
You wait, you get a pizza.
You order a
By
pizza.
the time the order pizza gets there, you're settling, you're eating, you're watching a break.
Yeah.
Where's that happening? And that's kind of, we'll get into, I'm sure, what you want to
yeah.
talk about.
Oh
but-
yeah, I want to get into the tech side of things.
Well, so yeah, I mean, that's a great forte because, I mean, we
So you see the business, you
Yeah.
get involved in the business. Where do you start? You start on Whatnot?
I did. Started on Whatnot and yeah. Well,
So
really started on Instagram and
The technology was ass back then.
yeah, it was.
At what point do you, because I remember when you started implementing this stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, John, keep this away from me, bro. Like, this is,
Yeah, I
this
don't
is
know what
complicated.
happened.
But I remember like you were trying to introduce it. I took a step away from the business for 9 months. I come back and everybody's using the same technology.
Right.
And it's coming from one person. That person's you.
This
Right.
all came about in the last year.
Right. Well, yeah, I would say maybe the serious portion, 99% of it has come about in the last year.
But it was a
The
big
start of it.
build of it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and you were there at the beginning. You saw it. It was really on Whatnot. I mean, I was big into gaming and stuff, and I was watching Twitch and live streams, and I was always so blown away by the detail that went into someone like Dr. Disrespect, which might not be the guy to talk
Yeah.
about nowadays, but
I don't
someone
even know who the fuck that
Yeah,
is.
it's like game. He streams games.
But like even back
What
in
did, what, did
2018,
what did he do? He did something bad.
yeah, underage.
underage stuff, yeah.
Oh
but,
my God.
yeah, but
Yeah.
he,
I hope that guy dies.
I'm with you. I'm
Yeah.
with you 100%. But back in the day, like 2018, when no one knew this was happening, he was the biggest. And in 2015, 2014, when I was in college watching this guy, in class, watching this guy with headphones in.
Yeah, it's green screen, headphones.
This
like-
guy's doing stuff with a green screen that I'm like, you don't even see this in like, I mean, he's like transporting himself into a Ferrari while he's sitting in his stream chair while he's driving a car in the game. And so in his face camera's got like him, like you see the steering wheel and it's like the amount of, and I'm like, this professionalism and it's impressive. And this is what blew him up. Is the professionalism, the experience that he gave his viewers. Because if you scroll around Twitch or YouTube, 90% of the guys, it's just going to be no border. It's just going to be their face camera down in the bottom left corner and then the game that they're playing behind it, right? And the people who are doing the most and succeeding the most have the most professional experience in their stream. And I'm scrolling around Whatnot going, well, the difference between TikTok or Twitch, and Whatnot is these people are donating on Twitch. This is generating billions of dollars of revenue. These people have the money to invest in a better looking stream, a more professional looking
everybody.
stream. Exactly. And
so you're streaming on Whatnot at this point, so you have an idea of their technology.
Yep.
How do you go about implementing your technology into a fucking program that is built, is running? Like, look, the number one thing I know about Whatnot is we don't like to complicate shit.
Yep.
Like Rip Hamilton's a dear friend of mine. They still operate in the Stone Age.
Not.
He's
Don't want to
Not-
point anything
not-
out. They're coming up about.
But I know,
2
but I
months.
just got finished talking
You're
to him
right.
about this, and like, I feel the same way because Mike would come out to LA. He's like, you gotta let John set up the OBS. I'm like, listen, Mike, I'm not gonna let John set it up because he is a tech monster, and I'm afraid of his technology. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to operate it. You got things floating across the screen, and this thing's popping
Flashing
up,
around.
I don't, bro. I'm a simple person. Like, I'm scared of that stuff. Then I use your technology, and you've actually simplified the whole process for everybody.
Yeah, I appreciate
And
it.
you've made it crispy clean. And like, how many times did we used to lag? I haven't lagged since you set up our OBS.
I remember we had set up the Vegas office and then but the LA office was still not set up yet. And there was a clear break between when you guys went live and when you guys went live. The lag was happening in y'all's
yeah.
office.
Restarting the stream like every 10 minutes.
I haven't
yeah.
restarted the stream since.
Yeah, and so and that's just the kind of thing is there's not. I think I noticed. Well, I mean, I guess to answer your initial question, I reached out to Whatnot. I don't really remember. I want to say it kind of had to do with Collecticon in Tampa. I first met a guy named Bug. At Whatnot, shout out to Bug. They call him Bug.
Bug and bug.
Bug. He's one of the smartest people I know. He kind of pioneered that over there, where he, I guess, made them make it available where you could even give a web camera through the browser. Back then, there wasn't even a Whatnot website. Do you remember? You could,
Of course.
all you could do on Whatnot was
The app.
in this back end seller part where you could ship stuff. There was no, you couldn't even view streams on the website back in
No,
the day.
it was
You couldn't
just
chat,
simple.
you couldn't buy, none of that. And so he knew if we're gonna enable OBS, which is our live streaming platform for those of you who don't know, if we're gonna enable you to be able to give us a live feed from that, we've got to have a website that plays video. Like that's the most simple thing.
Yeah.
So they started building this in. I guess they knew from talks with me in Tampa, from other talks where I was basically begging them, hey, I'm an Instagram streamer. Please let me on Whatnot. I promise I won't let you down. I'm going to grind my ass off. Like, let me on. This is literally what it took back in the day. People don't realize how hard it was to get on Whatnot in the early days. You had to send them pictures of all your inventory. I had to go to Collecticon with only an Instagram stream with like 100 followers and basically get in Moth's face and beg him.
That's crazy.
And they let us on. And
I had the complete opposite experience.
Dude, we had no backing in this industry. No one knew who we were.
I'm
We're
pretty
out of
sure
Alabama.
went like this. G called up and said, do the right thing, get this guy on the app. And they
See,
approved.
I didn't know
Yeah.
I'm
anyone.
not even joking.
Yeah.
5 minutes later,
That's how it was.
I was live on Whatnot.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it was.
You
It
need
was-
to know
you had
somebody.
to know
The same
someone to get on the
experience.
app, or you had to basically beg them, or be a massive channel already.
Correct.
And so, we go through all that, and I don't know. It's just, I guess through all this, Bug decided they were going to push this new nice back end and start to allow these nicer streams. And through hearing that I had a background in tech,
it made a lot
Yeah.
of sense.
he started talking to me about, do you want to test this and that? And so we built the first OBS stream and we started going live. And he kind of was doing it all on his own at first and then brought me in. And then I just started coding in OBS. I was like, the drag and drop stuff in OBS is fun, but when you can actually get behind it and write code into it,
But what people need to realize, John, is you're running a breaking business
right.
as you're
That's-
doing this.
Which is part of a problem. Because
Right.
I'm not running a breaking business. I'm the breaker.
Well, that's the problem that I think a lot of people, yourself and Mike, like when Mike sold his company to Blez, Jared's not buying the company more or less. He's buying Mike. He's buying Teddy. He's buying Sleevey because a lot of these companies, break companies, are only 3 to 5 man operations.
And you're only as good as those people.
Correct.
Always,
Exactly.
yeah, always.
And you
It's
have to surround yourself with good people.
very
Right.
important. You go and hire 20 people and you got, like we did this at the beginning. We thought we needed all these high school kids running our shipping team.
Nope.
They can only work 3 hours a day, so you need 20 of them to do what one person can do or 5
Right.
people can do. And you learn these things over time, But I mean,
So you're scaling technology, you're building OBS
We're building
as
it
you're
up.
running a break page.
yeah.
Multiple break pages.
Multiple break pages.
At that time, especially multiple, we thought we needed pizza rips and pizza pools too. Everyone was doing this
Yeah.
thing, and we obviously condensing was the right move, but we had no access to product back then. So I'm spending every day calling We the Hobby and Bleacher and Backyard and all these guys that I know or have all this product and that I've built up relationships with to buy.
Right.
Just can I, spare change? Can I get a case here, please? I need a case this weekend.
I know what that's
Yeah.
like,
It's
man.
tough.
I did that for 5 years.
Because you don't have a GTS account, and at that time, even they're done letting people get new accounts. If you didn't have an account 20 years ago, you're dead.
You're
to
out.
us.
Yeah.
And by the way, all the product that hasn't even come out yet is spoken for. So even if we gave you an account, you're fucked. Sorry.
We used to buy product off a guy at a fucking flea market
Yeah.
for the first 4 years.
Exactly, and you don't even know if this guy's
Shout out
gone
to
through everything.
Dollar Dan.
Yeah, Dollar
I'm
Dan.
not saying he didn't. But I'm saying
Oh,
you know how it
yeah.
is. Like you buy, you end up getting product from places where you have no idea if this guy's been searched or if it's been.
It's $2 a day.
and
now.
we're getting second and third market prices.
It's been boom,
And-
boom, boom. It's been sold to 3 people before you, and
That's why that's the only good thing Fanatics has provided to the breakers. in
I
my
need to say
opinion.
that too. Breaker program has changed everything. for
100%.
us. Everything.
I remember when G would be like, we were like on a main road, and he'd be out in the fucking street on the phone, stressing out.
that wait.
Cheech, I can't find the product.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't get any cases.
Do you know somebody
I
in
got
LA?
loose
You know somebody in
boxes.
like, yeah, no.
You're on
Yeah.
the phone, and not only that, you're
Driving
You're
all
to the
over the
point
place.
where basically every time you make the phone call, you're going to spend $250 just to get it overnighted. You're going to spend. I mean, it's
Bro, once it gets there, your worry is, where am I getting more?
and you're feeling it, and now and while it's on the way, you're calling it. And meanwhile, the package gets stuck for 3 days, and the case hit goes, and now it's worth half what you paid, and it hasn't even hit your doorstep yet, and your chat's chewing you out because the price you're trying to fill it out. People don't see this back end, and there's so much stress.
And depending on where you live, we lived in Southern California. We were competing with Ballers Bank, fucking Mamba, Mama
Royal
Breaks, Royal Rich. We were all buying from the same guys. So
And those guys
Sleevey-
are calling around getting the best price.
Sleevey
you
would
know?
drive to LA every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. He would drive up there as
far
early
is
as he
that?
from
Hours.
like 2 hours each way, just to sit there and go in hopes that this guy has select 2020. So, I hope we get 2020 select hobby. And then he'd get there and go, guy goes, I had 15 cases, but now I'm down to 2.
And people
That's the
don't see
shitty.
this.
No, that's the shitty part about running a new break page or a midway, of their launch, fighting for the product. Because again, like we have a luxury now of just waking up and knowing it's there. But if you don't have that luxury, it's
tough.
It's
and
tough.
it truly is a luxury. I can tell you, like, I'm new to that. I mean, you know all about my situation, but Pizza Pools, we finally got into all. That's it.
Tell that story. It's a good story.
Which all the way back with names and everything, or
Yeah,
what?
who
What do you-
cares?
so
No, it's good. It's a good story.
I guess we're on the phone and
Well, first of all, I met you. I first saw the technology when we ran that Whatnot show at the Dallas Card Show.
yeah, this wraps
And
back
I was
into
just like,
tech. Yeah.
motherfucker, this guy's amazing. This
Yeah.
guy, have you ever seen him in action, like on the computer when he's running he's actually in control of your computer? It's fucking mind boggling.
Well,
and I'm like, I can't do it. My face cam's not working.
If I can
The
remember
fucking
correctly-
What do I
scroller's
say?
all
What do I
fucked
say
up.
when you call me? Well, give me the code.
Yeah, give me the code.
Give me the code.
Dude.
All-
Done. I'm like, that's it.
We've built a
That's
back
it.
end into their computers where basically they give me an address. I type it into my remote client, and
If
and
memory
I'm in their
serves me
computer.
right, he was the first guy to
one of.
because I remember this.
You were
and
in the
again-
hospital, by the way.
Well, yeah, but that
Yeah.
was also during a time where he brought his equipment to launch that weekend, and he already bought it, and the equipment went missing, and it was a whole fucking scanzal. But I remember that you were one of the first people, and
Yeah, he told me everything to buy, and I brought it to the Dallas Card Show so we can run the Whatnot repack show.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's
And then after that, we would talk all the time, and I'm like, John, this is insane. How does everybody not have this?
Yeah, I mean, and I think a big focus for us during that time too was
acquiring new people, right?
acquire new people, but also we're looking around going, all right, we've already. So this new stream setup that we came up with, which back then was just the frame cam border. It was like the border where you had your, and then you had your face in there, and then that was over the top. And then we figured out how to put that behind everything. And that was like the day we figured out the code to make what your face camera section, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, if you go to any
Basically like
Whatnot
a
or-
layer. It's
Yeah.
layered behind you.
yeah, if you go to any Whatnot or Fanatic stream right now, you're going to see the very top. You're going to see the top third or so of the screen is going to be the streamer's face camera. Most streamers have it where if I'm holding something and the camera's looking at that card and I bring it up like this, eventually it's going to go behind that face camera and it's going to get blocked on your screen because that face camera is a layer on the OBS.
Yeah.
We figured out finally how to push that behind so that you can bring a card all the way up. Your hands can be fully in front without it affecting, if you have a green card, making the card see-through down in the bottom half or whatever. The day that happened, we realized
It was on.
it was on.
Yeah.
We've got to sell this. And so we started, Bleacher called me and all these people started calling me. I want this, I want that. And we didn't even know how to. I think we sold it for
many-
$1,000.
How many people today do you manage?
That's one of my
We've
next
got
questions.
70, I think it's 74 clients
That's
right
it?
now and 190 systems running our.
So I'll just say this: if you're in this business and you're listening and you're not using John,
using
Well,
John, yeah.
you should probably jump off.
You
the
should
bridge.
probably start.
I want to say, I mean, that was my fault. We were all word of mouth, and actually, I think that's a pretty impressive number from word of mouth only,
Of course.
because you kind of are first to market. You're only to market. But what happened is, we decided to stop with this go call John at Pizza Pools crap. That's what it was. That was the word of mouth, and I realized after talking to people at New York Fanatics Fest or wherever, I would hear from someone, oh, wait, I have actually, someone did tell me about you, but I don't know why. It's because they heard John at Pizza Pools and they're like, oh, the fuck does that guy know?
Yeah.
We started a company about a month ago. It's official now, Stream Pros. So we own a company called Stream Pros now. And I've built a separate team. I've got 3 engineers. I've got 2 sales guys. I've got a COO who handles all the incoming calls. And I mean, now we're starting to advertise. Hopefully by the time this shows up, we'll have an Instagram up. And but the idea now is Fanatics and Whatnot both have, unofficially agreed to.
You're the onboard guy.
When they onboard a new seller,
And
they're going
I'll
to send
tell
Stream
you how
Pros.
this came to fruition.
And
right?
sorry, I know
We're dealing with something, and I'm on the phone with him. I was like, Fanatics needs you. And he's like, oh man, that would be fucking sweet.
It's the video game.
So
thing,
he's
wasn't it?
live. You were doing at the time it was Deal or No Deal, right?
But you wanted the video game thing. That's what it was.
That's right. Yeah.
Now
So
I remember.
I wanted to have a video games playing on the background,
Amazing idea.
like a loop of just like a simulation video game, right? So I'm like, dude, we need to get you with Fanatics like ASAP. He's like, there's no way. I was like, let me make it. I'm going to text someone right now. So I text a guy at Fanatics Live. I said, I'm going to tag you. What's your Whatnot name? He gave me his Whatnot. I'm tag you in this room. You need to come and see this. I tag him. He comes in. He's running. I think you were just running.
Seal the deal, or was it just a break?
I think you were running Seal the Deal or just a break. He saw it for about 5 seconds. He texts me back. He goes, I need this ASAP. They link.
He called me immediately and told me. And
I was like, you're in.
by the
you're
way,
in.
I had applied maybe 10 times at this point to Fanatics Live because we can all
Sent
see.
emails, right?
We all at that point we could all see where they were heading with this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Getting that call from him, Fanatics wants to talk to you, and then as he's telling me this, ding, hey, it's so and so from Fanatics. I'm like, dude, this is crazy, right? And so that's
And so now it's you. Case in point, you see all the guys on Fanatics Live. It's all his shit.
And
It's
yeah.
all the tech. They're all running the same stuff. That's why it looks so good.
And we decided,
Looks good, man, but
I appreciate it, man.
that app stinks.
Well, personally, I might actually disagree here right now because I've never streamed on there until this year. I've never even sold a baseball break in my life. I mean, this week we sold 16 cases of Gilded and
Update.
Update with one streamer.
That's the thing now with
On 3
Fanatics
days a
is
week.
you have a lot of guys that haven't. I'm no disrespect.
Yeah.
A lot of guys who have no business ripping baseball that rip baseball now.
And
It's kind of like
it's not,
it's
by
just
the
the
way,
way. It's just the way that
That app
it's
is
been-
oversaturated with the same products all day. That's my
I
And
can
the same
agree with that,
pages.
but also
Same
like,
pages.
but also okay, and they'll fix that. I'm sure. I hope. But you go around to like Whatnot. I mean, it's kind of almost the same deal. You're still seeing the same product for the most part,
Yeah.
but there's just so much more variety
on how to
so
break
it skips it out.
and-
Yeah, but
But we were talking about the Whatnot. Everybody has one stream. They have one live.
yeah,
And with Fanatics, when you're spreading people thin, and you have all these same pages running 8, 9,
Like-
10, 12 pages.
there was a time where
You're
you could do this on Whatnot.
You're,
it was
yeah,
like
we
that.
talked
and
about this.
they caught people doing it with just 2 streams.
Two
And they
streams.
said,
We used to do that all the time.
We did it all. We did it all the time.
Yeah.
You send out 2 notifications to your 25,000 followers. Why,
Bro, you
why
would go-
build another account that's only got 500 followers?
My next show, like we would go live and then we would raid you from the show we were live on. Like they had
there was little tricks
Yeah.
and little.
That's probably what got it caught.
Yeah.
Right? Wait a
How are
minute.
you rating yourself?
Moff is sitting in the stream. Blez just rated Blez with 100.
Mob's
You're just like,
bro, how did you have 150 people that fast but didn't feature you? Just rated everybody.
you're just like,
Yeah.
you're just, every
Look,
time
there's
the
always-
stream's about to end, you just re-raid yourself over and over again. It's just a
I'm sure you
never-ending
know this.
lie.
There's always weaknesses in the technology, right?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And how you could figure out a way around. I don't want to wait 20 minutes to fill my room up. I'll just
Fill it up.
just
Back
fill it up.
then, even the algorithm was, you could game the algorithm back then by just having a lot of stuff in your store.
Right.
Or by running
changed
more
all
auctions
that.
per minute. Yeah, now there's a little bit of
There's efficiency
There's
to
some
that
buttons
now.
on the background
But
too
with
that they
the
can
with the
press.
Fanatics Live, you're stretching you're stretching the viewership thin
Yeah.
with having multiple accounts. And good on them. They're some of these guys are having success, but it's
Personally, here's my thing. I think they're preparing. I think there's a lot of I hear that sentiment a lot. My honest thought, just from looking at it from a true business perspective, is right now you want to go make big money. Whatnot's probably your key. You want to start to build a brand and hope that 2 to 3 years from now you've built such a big brand that you're now getting the massive amounts of allocations that a company like Blaz or someone would get. At that point, it's almost. That allocation. Now it is like free money. It's like you get to a point where because of your relationship with Fanatics Live, Fanatics is gonna want to give you more product. Fanatics is gonna. If you guys don't think that in 2 years when they've got all the football, all the basketball, sure, Panini's still gonna be printing Prism. It's gonna be unlicensed, whatever, basketball, football. When all the focus switches over to Topps. If you guys don't think that they're going to make every product early release on Fanatics Live, like that release day market share, that bringing people over, the amount of people that are going to consistently join over and jump over to Fanatics Live, I do think the app will be massive in a couple of years.
Right, but you also got to rely on the fact that they perfect their technology the way that Whatnot has. Because Whatnot makes running a break as easy and accessible because you could manually run things, you could use technology to run things, you could do a little bit of both. Fanatics seems like a one-trick pony where you can only do a wheel one way. You're not in total control of it. It pops up, it pops off, and the
insurance behind it. There's no insurance behind it.
I'm in meetings with them right now to rework the wheel because they want the wheel to be able to be used.
I'll be the first one.
Flexible.
They want it to be able to be used
personally,
not tied to an auction. You should be able to pull the wheel up and spin it whenever.
John, I'll tell you this straight out. If Fanatics technology matched Whatnot's technology, I would tell Whatnot to suck my cock. Straight up.
There you go.
There
Fanatics. And listen,
because this is what I believe, right? If you know how to live sell and you know how to run breaks and you have the same infrastructure that Whatnot offers, well, guess what? Yeah, Fanatics is the future.
Yep.
They are cards. They are the hobby. They control 95% of the market share when it comes to all of the intangibles of the business. But they're not there yet. And I agree with you. 2 years from now, if that's the way, I'm there, brother.
They have all the money to do it. It seems so easy.
You look at China.
I'm not tech savvy, but it seems just so easy to just go. We need to implement a new wheel. We need to implement this.
They're a
new
new
thing.
They're working on it, and their dev teams is a lot. It's a bigger now. It started very small. Their devs are very great people. I've got to know them. We meet with them. We're lucky enough. I probably might not even be supposed to say that, but because of our tech background, the hobby, you're in good hands. I'd say don't be mad that I'm getting these back end meetings with.
You want John?
You want me?
You
probably
should.
want me to do it.
I told him on the phone that day. I said, John should be running your entire back end.
Yeah,
and I said, no disrespect to your fucking guys. I said, this guy will fucking run circles around your guys.
Well, that's what happens when you have a new company. Whatnot was not very tech savvy their first year and a half,
and they seeked out people that were, and they started
kept
to figure it
improving
out.
the technology and giving you new features. I remember it all tailoring in. It took forever, but I remember when they put their own wheel on Whatnot, and I remember when they implemented that little face thing, and it was just a little tiny square, and you could place it anywhere on your screen. And I remember when you couldn't bulk generate the labels; it was individual,
go through one by one.
That was miserable,
bro. And it's and I've
scan
watched
forms and all that. When they just added all this stuff, it's unbelievable.
Create a break feature, and there was none of this.
And now they've jumped to this new thing.
It's just constantly going to grow and expand.
Yeah.
And the tech is just going to go crazy.
The problem is they're the Wild West of the hobby.
They are. I really do think, personally, Fanatics is in a great position. Obviously, we all know Fanatics is in a great position. I think there's no question Ruben knows what he's doing. But when you get into Fanatics Live, which really is a separate company, and it's a brand new company, that is not.
And we're talking
different CEO, different everything, right? And a lot of people don't realize this.
They're still building their team the right way.
And what has it been, a year?
It's
Less
been a year
and a half?
They launched at the National last year. Remember, they launched at the National last year, and that first 3 months they were only let
They launched at
15,
the All-Star game.
That
was the first live. Or was the All-Star game.
And what I personally think is, I think they are in the best position, Fanatics Live, of all the streaming companies because they are completely reworking their tech right now. I can confirm that. I can't confirm it. I can't say too much. I'm working with the dev guys right now. There is some really amazing stuff coming. There is something, I'm going to tell you guys after, there is something coming that might even convince you before the tech is coming.
Won't be a hard convince.
Trust me. They're going to do something that is, I actually can pull it up and show you. But basically, I think they're in the best position because they're in no rush.
No, they're not.
Their license, their third full license. Once that third license kicked in, you got all 3 sports. If you don't have it figured out by then, we need to have a talk, right? Because you've been spending this whole time positioning yourself to be this juggernaut in the industry, this main place where people are going to be buying sports cards. I mean, I was kind of getting this a second ago. This live sales industry that we're in, not the sports card industry, but the live e-commerce. It's brand new here, and sports cards and coins and collectibles happens to be the first thing that went for it. But if you go do market research on that in China and Japan, it's a $1 trillion industry, not because of sports cards.
Purses,
electronics,
shoes, clothing.
purses. Yeah. So you have to think, Whatnot wants to be the $1 trillion. It might seem like Whatnot cares about sports cards right now because that's what their bread and butter is.
They don't care.
Long term, if the government came to Whatnot and said, breaks or you don't have a gambling license, they would literally middle finger every breaker. I promise that day, because they want to be. China's doing trillions of dollars on 1 or 2 apps in the live sales industry. They're always 10 years ahead of us on everything. That's how it goes, right? Yeah. It's not sports. It's not just sports cards for Whatnot. And you can see it now.
Just collectibles in general.
But Fanatics, perfect position for the hobby, I think, because you're going to get full all the licenses in 3 years, right? 2 to 3 years. If you have the app rewritten, if you have a lot of the same features that people love about Whatnot, or even better features like what I'm about to show you, personally, I mean, I'm a tech guy and I'm gung ho. I'm serious on Fanatics. I really think Fanatics Live is the future.
We're out of time, but
Apologies.
no, we're good. We're good. Just shout out the company, shout out where people need to find you, Stream Pros, all that bullshit.
Yep, Stream Pros. Stream Pros right now, streampros.us is our website. So www.streampros.us. Some Australian company took .com and they stink. So, but streampros.us. We should have an Instagram up as well, but you can find us also at Pizza Pools. Hit us up at Pizza Pools. If you want to get a system done, we're running some discounts right now on our newer systems. We just launched a brand new system and running some holiday deals and discounts and some bulk deals for your streaming companies.
Don't be a cheap fuck.
We are.
Invest.
Yeah.
That's a one investment that is definitely worth it.
It's your storefront, your virtual storefront. You could have I know we gotta go. You could have a card shop where you invest millions in your card shop. You might see 100 people foot traffic on a good day. You're gonna see thousands of people come in your store on an online stream. Invest the same amount of money you would, because that's your online market. That's what people are going to see when they walk in. So,
That's good. Thanks for coming.
I appreciate you guys having me, man.
Yeah,
Seriously.
that's good.
Awesome.
Guys, later. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate it.